The Three Magic Beans. Once upon a time in a small village, there lived a young farmer named Leo. He was kind, hardworking, and loved his family's little farm. But no matter how hard he worked, the crops barely grew, and his family often struggled to have enough food. One evening, as Leo walked home from the market, he met an old woman sitting by the road. She had a twinkle in her eye and held out her wrinkled hand. Resting in her palm were three small beans, shimmering like tiny stars. "These are magic beans," she said in a gentle voice. "Plant them, and they will take you on a great adventure." Leo hesitated. "But how will they help my farm?" The woman simply smiled. "Sometimes adventure brings the greatest treasures." Leo thanked her and carefully took the beans home. That night, he planted them in a patch of soft soil near the barn. As he slept, something incredible happened. The ground trembled and the beans began to glow. By morning, three massive beanstalks had shot up into the sky, their twisting vines sparkling with golden light. Leo's eyes widened in amazement. "I have to see where they lead," he said. He took a deep breath and grabbed onto the first beanstalk, climbing higher and higher until he disappeared into the clouds. When Leo reached the top, he gasped in wonder. He had arrived in a magical land made entirely of candy. Rivers of chocolate flowed through the hills, trees dripped with gumdrops, and fluffy cotton candy clouds floated in the sky. The air smelled of warm cookies and caramel. "This is amazing," Leo said, tasting a piece of a candy cane bridge. But soon he heard tiny voices crying for help. He turned and saw a group of sugar fairies fluttering around a melting gingerbread castle. "Our world is disappearing," one fairy sobbed. "The candy is melting and soon nothing will be left." Leo thought quickly. He grabbed giant marshmallows from a nearby field and used them to build a dam, blocking the melting chocolate from washing everything away. With the candy world saved, the fairies cheered and gifted Leo a golden caramel coin. "This will bring you luck on your journey," they said. Leo smiled, placed the coin in his pocket, and climbed back down the beanstalk. Curious about what lay ahead, Leo climbed the second beanstalk. When he reached the top, he found himself standing in a kingdom floating on clouds. Golden birds soared through the sky, and tall towers glowed in the sunlight. "It's beautiful," Leo whispered. But the people of the kingdom looked worried. The queen of the sky approached him and said, "Our kingdom is sinking. The wind that holds us up has disappeared." Leo looked around and noticed a group of golden birds flapping their wings sluggishly. He had an idea. He reached into his pocket and found a giant feather that had fallen from one of the birds. With all his strength, he waved it back and forth, creating a powerful breeze. The wind returned, lifting the kingdom higher into the sky. "You have saved our home," the queen said, placing a shining sapphire in Leo's hand. "Take this as a token of our gratitude." Leo bowed and climbed back down to the farm, eager to see what adventure the final beanstalk held. Leo climbed the third and final beanstalk, arriving in a land unlike any he had seen before. Books floated in the air, giant quills wrote words on glowing pages, and stories whispered through the breeze. But something was wrong. Many books were closing, their words fading away. "The stories are disappearing," cried an old man who introduced himself as the story keeper. "Without new adventures, our books will be forgotten forever." Leo smiled and began telling the story keeper all about his journey, the candy world, the floating kingdom, and his bravery. As he spoke, the books flew open, filling with words and illustrations of his adventures. The story keeper beamed. "You have brought new life to our land," he said. He handed Leo a golden book. "Whenever you need a new adventure, this book will take you there." Leo thanked him and climbed back down, feeling proud of all he had done. As soon as Leo set foot on the ground, the three beanstalks shimmered and transformed into golden vines, wrapping around the farm. Suddenly, the soil became rich, and his crops grew bigger and brighter than ever before. Juicy apples, plump pumpkins, and golden wheat filled the fields. His farm became the most successful in the village, and his family never went hungry again. From that day on, Leo knew that adventure wasn't just about traveling far away. It was about being brave, helping others, and believing in magic. And whenever he longed for a new adventure, he would open the golden book, knowing that a new story was just waiting to begin. The end.